We've had a special guest fly in from New York.
Oh, I see what you're saying. And I've been availed 3 or 4 times for a job with De Niro on the Wise Guy movie, and I was thinking,
De Niro, Footsoldier.
so I went toe to toe with Nick. After he cut, he goes, "What are you doing? You know, your son needs to go to stage school." My parents were like shocked.
He's not wearing a leotard.
It was like, hello. It's Fraud Squad posing as an actor. They're waiting outside for me. I became a gamer when I did Star Wars. I did a game called Star Wars Battlefront 2. The only time I've ever gotten nervous is when I worked with Kevin Spacey.
He didn't ask you to go up to his room, did he?
He didn't have to. I got called up in front of me. Matt Damon next to me, and there's little old Skordi from Brixton standing there. They went through 2 other actors before they got to Miles Teller. The first one was cancelled for wanting to cannibalise people. Lottie and Amy were the ones that arranged the hit. Fair Brass, and you got Bruce George Russo, Josh. They're all great guys, man.
Welcome back to the Criminal Connection podcast, and this episode is proudly brought to you by Betovo. Welcome back to the Criminal Connection podcast. Today, we've had a special guest fly in from New York. He's known as Carlo Gambino. If you've watched the new Rise of the Footsoldier Vengeance, you'll know him as Mo. He is a phenomenal actor, and I want to welcome Mr. Anthony Skordi to the Criminal Connection podcast. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, you're welcome, mate.
It's good to see you.
Thanks for having
Flying
me.
from the other side of the Atlantic.
Yeah. Actually, I was in Greece, but hey.
He's in Greece?
Yeah.
Oh, so I thought he was in New York. I thought that's...
No, I was.
Have you left the Gambinos now then?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I was in LA, and then I went to Phoenix to meet with your mate, Sammy the Bull.
Sammy.
The Bull Gambino. And
did he keep saying, "Get the fuck out of here"?
no, forget about it. He gives us the Fugazi.
Forget
about it. No, he's a nice enough bloke, but when you meet him, you think, mate, is that him? You know, he's like tiny.
Do you know what? And this is an observation which is crazy. When I first started making British crime films, I started to meet a lot of sort of ex-criminals, or they were sort of retired criminals from the 60s and the 70s. So people like Roy Pretty Boy Shaw, Joey Pyle, Frankie Foreman, Frankie Fraser, Freddie Foreman.
Both boxers.
All these guys, right? And what I always thought was funny was, barring probably one of them, they're all so small.
Right.
So I think we've just got bigger. That's what it is.
Oh, do you reckon that's what
I think it is? I don't think it's Cuban Hills.
No.
I think we've actually just got bigger.
because Gambino, he was pretty short as well.
Right.
But so was James Dean. So,
Right.
you know.
Tom Cruise is short, but again, he looks 6 foot tall on the screen, doesn't he? So
Yeah, it does. They put all of the actresses in trenches so they can walk in the trenches when they're shooting the scene. Is that what they do?
I think so.
Can you imagine trying to act on a box?
Yeah.
Standing on a
I
box.
think he does stand on a box occasionally.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, somebody said that. I
Soap
don't know. It could be
box.
bullshit. Could be bullshit.
I don't know. I never worked with him.
But
he follows me on Twitter. If it's him.
well, that's all right, isn't
I
it?
don't go on it now. They took my blue check mark away.
Do you know what? I actually do think that's a fucking liberty.
No, I know.
When I actually got the message saying, just to let you know, Elon Musk has bought Twitter and he's removing the blue ticks, but if you want one, they're like £100 a year. And I just thought,
There's more than that, isn't it?
I don't know. I thought, well, it might be 150, but I just remember looking at it thinking, you've given the blue tick because it's a person of interest, right? And now you're taking it away and you're saying everyone can buy one. So why would you want one if everyone can buy one?
Right. Well, I was getting like accounts coming up, like, you know, people copying the account and saying they were me.
Right.
And I reckon that's why I probably got it real quick. But
Right.
yeah, I just don't feel like using it anymore, to be honest with you.
So
Anyway.
I've got to let you into a secret.
Go on then.
Do you prefer Tony or Anthony?
Anything but.
Okay, I won't call
Oh,
you.
I'm sorry, darling. Oh,
You
I
mustn't
said
say
darling.
that. You mustn't say darling.
I'd say.
You can't say darling or babe. You can only use the word cunt on this show. So when I come across you, Anthony, it was in The Offer, right?
All right.
I know you've been in fucking hundreds of TV shows and films, but I was watching that because I always thought that movie, The Godfather, part 1 and part 2, not part 3,
Right, I agree with you.
were 2 of the fucking best gangster movies ever made. thought Francis Ford Coppola was an amazing director. And then when I heard that Paramount were doing The Offer, and it was a true story about, Maria Puzo's book and the film and all that stuff, I thought I'd got to watch it. When I watched it, that's when I discovered the legend that is Anthony Skordi. And I was watching it and I was thinking, this guy's fucking mustard. And obviously I remember the Gambinos, Carlo and John and all that stuff. So when I was watching it, I was invested in it. I mean, Joe Colombo, all those characters, you know.
Right.
And then what was mad was we're doing Rise of the Footsoldier Vengeance, and obviously your casters, a gang boss in it that's non-Italian gang boss.
No.
Called Mo. Was you like was it Greek or Russian or?
I don't know what it was. I
Albanian?
did an Arab accent, and like Nick, I know Nick because I did Prime Suspect, 1973. We worked together. It was 2016. We worked together.
Wow.
We were the same agent, and funny story there. I might, but Nick must have seen it, and he's spoken to Andy, and I think that's how they made me the offer. And I was stuck in a hotel room in Hungary, in Budapest, right, with fucking COVID, right. I was on a job. I'd get there. I got COVID. It's a 10-day shoot, and I'm supposed to be out for 10 days. So, and then I get a call from Nick. And I've been availed 3 or 4 times for a job with De Niro on the Wise Guy movie. And I was thinking, oh, shit, okay, I'll do it. I thought,
De Niro, Footsoldier, didn't
well, no, they didn't get back to me. And I thought, that's what happens. People think, oh, it gets easier. It gets harder because you're working with, you're in a bigger group of names, a smaller group, but they're names, big names, that you're up against. But with the thing with Nick played a villain, as he does. He does it well.
Yeah.
They called me the producers called me and they said, you're coming back next season as the arch villain. So Nick, no one knew about it except me, the producers and the director. So I've got this scene with Nick where I've got a ticket, and he comes downstairs, up and going. And I went, before that, I was like a little bit timid. This time after I got that news, I thought, well, I've got to justify being the arch villain when it comes back, because this is like, I've got 1 or 2 scenes left, so I've got to bring that in. So I went toe to toe with Nick. After he cut, he goes, what are you doing? I can't tell you, but I've got to bring the character up a little bit. So I told him on the shoot, on the Footsoldier shoot, 8 years later on, I was able to tell him that, well, I was supposed to come back as arch villain. I couldn't come back because he's like, nervous. But it was fun working with Nick. He wouldn't last 2 minutes in LA.
Right.
Boy, you. I'm
people be like, next.
They'd be lucky to have him.
But it was funny because I hadn't met you at that point. And then when I met you, and I went, Anthony, love to meet you, love to work on The Offer. And then you spoke. I was like, I thought he was a fucking yank. Do you know what I mean? I was, because when you haven't met somebody properly, and you were so convincing as Carlo Gambino, and obviously that marks you out as a great actor. But
cheers.
But in normally if somebody puts an accent on, you can tell, but I couldn't tell, and I honestly thought he was a yank. So when I'll come over to you, and then you went, "Oh, mate, yes."
Where was this in Spain?
When we was in
Southend.
In Leicester Square when we was filming in the club.
Was that the first time I saw you?
Yeah. Because
that was towards the end of the shoot.
Yeah, because I think
met your son.
Yeah, Alfie, he works on it.
I met him in Southend.
Yeah. And he said to me, he goes, Anthony, because we watched The Offer together. So when he met you, he said, oh, he's such a lovely man. He's your biggest fan, So,
that's nice. Well, at the red carpet on Paramount Studios, Bern Gorman, Bern Gorman is the guy that plays the Austrian head of the studio.
Yeah. He was funny in it.
He's
as well.
British.
Brilliant.
He's British.
Is he really?
So I've gone up to him because someone said, I'll say, give him my regards. We were at drama school together. Anyway, I go and say, hey, Bern, I'm Anthony Skordi. And he nearly fell over backwards when I spoke to him with a British accent as well. I've done a lot of things, and 99% of it is with different accents, Arabic, Jewish, whatever. So when people actually hear me speak, they're like, no. Dex Fletcher called me up, to welcome me to the show. And like, he goes, "Hi, this is Dex." I said, "How you doing, mate?" He goes, "Oh, there you go with the accents again." "No, this is me.
This is me in real life.
This is my accent." And it was funny because on set it'd be like, "All right, all my Italians over it. Oh, and my Greek from London over here," because he was brought up in Palmer's Green, you know.
Right.
You know, he had a lot of Greek mates, but yeah.
But Dexter Fletcher, I mean, I remember him like, obviously from Lock, Stock and his acting days, and then he sort of just morphed into directing, and he's become one of like the UK's finest directors.
He is, and he still acts.
So I didn't know that. I thought he just go, you know what, f- this, I'm directing £200 million films.
Some
now.
director, some mate of mine, I'm not going to say his name, Max. Sure. He said to me, "Well, if Dex don't do the part, you can have it." I went, "No, mate, really?" Anyway, you know, so still acting.
Right.
Yeah,
So I'm sure a lot of our listeners and viewers will be fascinated to where you grew up, Anthony, and you know where what led you into acting. Was it sort of something you did from a young age, or?
Crikey. Yeah, I was born in the City of London Maternity Hospital in Whitechapel. So proper.
You're proper East London.
Right. And then I was kind of, first couple of years was like North London, Mornington, Crescent, Holloway, and then we ended up in Brixton. So I was dragged up in Brixton. Right.
I was conceived in Brixton.
Oh, really? Conjugal visits.
I don't know if it was that. I always, when people say you were conceived in Brixton, I always thought, I didn't want to ask my mum where or how.
Well, your dad was inside, and we were allowed once a month. Some. And at 8 years old, Mr. Wheeler, he was my teacher at primary school, Duran Junior School. We did this play, and he said my parents came in, and he needed to talk to them. He says, "You know, your son needs to go to a stage school." And my parents were like shocked and horrified. How could a teacher suggest that our son?
He's not wearing a leotard.
No, he's become an actor. He's either going to marry or be gay. And like, "Mum and Dad, I've done both." No, I haven't. I haven't. It's, when you're on the box and then people are asking you, "Oh, you got the same name as this actor, you related?" They like it. But, they were totally dead set against it, And so, I remember going to see my dad. I must have been 24, 25. I was working as an insurance underwriter. I was driving a Stag wearing silk suits. And I went to see my dad one afternoon. He was sitting in the sofa and he said, "I look back on my life and I see things I wanted to do and I didn't do them. It's too late now." And I went, "Wow, that's not going to be me." So I went off and called all the drama schools and got the applications and filled them out and, winged it.
And what drama school did you end up at?
Sorry. I went to Drama Centre. This shows how unprofessional I am, mate. I'm really...
At least it didn't ring. It could have rung. You could be like, "Hang on a minute, I'm just going to, hello."
Oh, and it's a Greek tune. It's like, "Hello, who's calling?" It's Fraud Squad posing as an actor. They went outside for me. Yeah, what did you ask me? I went to Drama Centre.
Drama Centre.
Yeah. It's funny because I'd auditioned for a few schools and I was like, didn't know what I was doing. So Drama Centre was my last one. And I went in, I did the audition. I went through caution to the wind and I got in. I didn't get the grant. So the next year I applied to Drama Centre. I really wanted to go there after I'd met them. RADA. And I auditioned for those 3 schools the following year, but I'd already gotten into Drama Centre straight away.
Wow.
And the second time I auditioned, they knew me.
You're lost, RADA.
No, and I remember going to RADA's, like hundreds of us, it felt like, auditioning. Right. And they went, "We're only keeping one person back." And I was heading for the door and they went, "Me?" And I was like, "No, they're kidding, eh?" And then they asked me to sing and skip across the floor. And like, at that point, I didn't know how to skip across the floor or sing. So. But I didn't get in. And I really got like all these like stars sitting at the tables. Like, I didn't even want to go there anyway. So.
Yeah. But Drama Centre, was that for 3 years?
3 years, and it's shut down recently. But like the first year, I was able to pay. The second year, I won some award, the Lillian Bayliss Award that all the drama schools go to, and then a girl and a boy wins, and I got a year, and then they gave me my final year of training in the drama centre. I can say that now because they shut down.
Well, okay.
They believed in me.
That's amazing.
You had a box office.
Yeah.
They got that one wrong, didn't they?
And then did you get an agent before you left, or
The time before I was going to leave, the RSC, Royal Shakespeare Company, asked me to audition, and I didn't. I wanted to finish, and then I was picked up by a manager by the end of it, but I had a phone call from one of the agents that worked there, and he was like, "I've got to tell you, he's turning jobs down on your behalf. He's turning them down." And I was up to play some boxer, Mendoza, Jewish bare fist boxer.
Yeah.
I like, you hear all those stories about agents. I was in his office. He said, "Take the shirt off." What? Take your shirt off? Took my shirt off. I was all right. Buy tattoos. He goes, you, because I had the tattoos on my back. In those days, I don't think they could.
Right.
Those days, I'm sounding like I'm
You're not
Bill
that
Stonehenge.
old. You're not that old.
I can feel it today, mate. I come to London and I catch a cold in 2 minutes of landing. But anyway, yeah, so I did get an agent. I got my ticket, my equity card. I did pantomime. I did a McDonald's commercial,
Right.
which was like, wow, I've never seen 20 grand before.
Who did you play? What, you weren't the Hamburglar, were you?
No, it was one of that. It was Tony Kaye who directed it.
Right.
And I was the eyeball. It was all these like shots of lips and eyeballs and ears and all that, and I was the eyeball. So, and then I went to the Royal Shakespeare Company for a couple of years, and then I left there, and then Siobhan Bragg, lovely woman. I don't even know if she's still around. I was doing Danny in the Deep Blue Sea with Jeffrey Kissoon. He directed it, and then I had a phone call while I was doing that, and Siobhan said, Vanessa Redgrave's doing this play over at Riverside. Some person can't do 4 performances up to the press night. Can you do it? 4 entrances, 4 exits. Well, yeah, sure. I go in. It's 4 entrances, but when you're on, you're on.
Right.
You don't, and it's all in Gypsy, Romany, nothing in English. And like, I get there, Lubis Juristic, he goes, director of the National Theatre of Yugoslavia. He said, "Today you watch, tomorrow you do." Me. And I was up like 48 hours trying to learn this. And I still remember some of it, which can come in handy with the gypsies trying to sell flowers to you.
Give us a little bit then.
No. Good after dark I'm not sure what I'm saying. Someone's going to write.
Sounds good, though. Sounds good.
Yeah, well. So, yeah, I did the RSC, and then we ended up going to Houston, Texas. We did Spain, Italy, Brazil. With that, and I decided, I came back to London, and it was like summer in Brazil, Sao Paulo, and it was winter here, and I was crossing the road. I was living over near in between Waterloo and Blackfriars, and I remember trying to cross the road to go for a drink. Getting freezing. Wind was blowing up the Blackfriars Road. I thought, no, I can't stay here. It's too fucking cold. So I went to New York. I think I was there for about 8 days, and then I went to LA and try my luck out there.
And what was your first sort of break when you was in LA? Did you?
My first break, I did a thing called Men of a Certain Age with Scott Bakula, and I played Tilburn, British director. I thought only in the US can I play a Brit, an Englishman, called Tilburn.
I've got all these fucking accents. You wouldn't play a Brit.
Well, no. Yeah, that was my first job. And then it was really funny. I remember sitting in a room for my next job, and I was like, I did the audition, and I saw the casting director get up and rush out. I thought, she's gone. She went to call the producer saying, I found the dude to play the part. But I didn't know what was going on at the time. I was like,
do something to upset you?
What did I do wrong? But it's a waiting game. it's a waiting game out there, and it's like, so many disappointments and heartbreaks.
Well, a lot of people don't realise, 95% of all actors are unemployed.
Yeah.
And
over COVID, it was 98%. And I managed to do a Western, playing a priest in a Western. And this video game I'm working on now.
Amazing.
I started working on that in August. I finished in March.
That's a long time, isn't it? Wow.
Yeah, it's like 4 sessions.
Is this all the motion capture stuff?
Yeah, performance capture. Yeah. I can't tell you what it is.
Can you say what you're playing or not? Or
No, because if I do, then you're gonna know what it is.
I reckon I know what it is. I'll have a guess, right? I'm gonna use. I've got a crystal ball here, right? And I'm gonna just have a look into it. I reckon it could be Grand Theft Auto, the new one, but I could be wrong.
Can that come out?
I don't think so. I could be wrong. But
I'm looking for an apartment.
But if I was casting Grand Theft Auto, I would be putting you in that movie.
Yeah,
all that.
I tell you, I've been looking for an apartment in Athens, and I'm really pissed off because I've got all these new games for the PS5, and I've got nowhere to play them because I'm staying in a hotel room.
So you're a gamer?
Well, I became a gamer when I did Star Wars.
Right.
I did a game called Star Wars Battlefront 2.
I played that. It's good.
Do you know I was in it?
No.
I'm Admiral Versio.
Right.
Did you see the cutscenes?
I played the game, but yeah.
You see the scenes?
Yeah.
I'm a dad.
Right. Do you know what? I just played
Cup 2.
I'm just killing everybody in it. I'm not watching who. I'm just like, if I'm a Jedi, I'm gonna kill all that.
I put Inferno Squad together. Is this real?
No.
All right.
It looks good though, doesn't it?
Thanks. I was going to chop it up and smoke it. I'm joking.
No, it is. I feel when I think it was this plant I thought was the funny plant, but it's not. They're quite common.
Is that real?
Yeah, but
Really
you got a fugazi plant. You got a real plant.
Fugazi. Yeah, no. So I spent 10 months out of work after Gambino,
and then you just thought, "Fuck it, I'm going to get on the PlayStation 5."
No, I thought to myself, I'm getting out of LA.
So did you film? So when you did The Offer, was that in LA?
Paramount Studios.
Right, wow. That's some studio, isn't it? It's amazing.
It was in the same, because one of my best mates is Michael Ironside. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah.
But he shot on stage 14. They did Top Gun, the original. So I happened to be working on that stage. So I already had history with that place. So yeah. No, working with Giovanni Ribisi and Miles Teller and, all these names is like, it's like, it's not like I've arrived, but, you get people who so I did a movie with the late Julian Sands out in Cyprus, and we were mates, and watching the Cypriot actors, forgive me, Cypriot actors, they think, oh, these people are, they're coming from outside and, they're British or they're American or whatever. And they kind of they get really kind of nervous about it all. But the only time I've ever gotten nervous is when I worked with Kevin Spacey. Right? I've gone for the audition.
He didn't ask you to go up to his room, did he?
He what? He said...
He didn't ask you to come up to his room, did he?
He didn't have to. He saw the tassels on my nipples through my silk shirt.
Do you know something? Right? I think he's had a tough time, hasn't he?
He got off with it. You know that, right?
No, but I'm kidding about. But because that was Weinstein's thing when it come up to the hotel room and give me a massage.
And then you could be in a movie, play a lead. I'd gone into to play a Russian, and I've gone in this room full of Russians.
Was Kevin directing that, or was he just
starring in it?
Right, okay.
It was part of the Jameson whiskey competition. If you won the competition, then you had your movie made as a short. So I've gone in and I've auditioned, and the casting director goes to the producer. I told you he acts outside the box. I told you. Anyway, 8 days later, I get the call that I booked it. I walked out and I was like, I ain't going to get this. 8 days later, I get the call. I think they've made a mistake. It's full of Russians in there. They're going to book a bubble from Brixton. What's wrong with them? That's what I was thinking. And I thought, well, they'll realise when I go for a rehearsal. And I went for the rehearsal. Nobody flinched. You know, and I get on set and the first scene was spacey. I had cotton mouth. I was like nervous, a little bit nervous. But after that, I was like, I was all right.
What's he like? I've never met him. Is he a good guy to work with?
He's very analytical as an actor. He's got to justify everything. Well, I do as well, but the way to see how he justifies it is like he might like refer to he'll see a bowl of fruit on the set on a table, and he'll link a sentence to that. You know, I thought, oh wow, that's interesting. You know, but yeah, he's a nice enough guy. I worked with Clooney as well. You know that.
What was that in?
He was directing Catch-22.
Right, that was a good movie.
Not the series. And he's so humble and so nice.
Why did I think that was a movie? Was there something?
Yeah, there was a movie back in the day.
Right, but not directed by him.
No.
Right.
He wasn't
born. But he did the TV show.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, him and some other woman directed it. Because he was in it as well.
Did you have lots of free Nespresso coffee in that or not? Because he's the face of it, isn't he? I didn't know if
No. I was playing an Arab. I was playing a sheikh.
I didn't know if he was like had some sort of little deal where they just come down and give everyone like loads of coffees, you know?
No, no, it was in Rome we shot it, funnily enough.
Wow.
And you know, he's a really nice guy, and you're having a comment. The bigger the star, the nicer they are, it seems to me. It's those ones that are not quite stars yet. You know, they're stars on TV, but he's such a nice guy. And I remember we just chatting away, talking about people we knew, mutual friends and that. And we broke for lunch, and suddenly there was like these 10 bouncers surrounded him and walked him out because he couldn't go anywhere in Rome without being recognised and mobbed.
I mean, he's probably one of the most famous people on the planet, isn't he? I mean, you know, he's just everywhere, wasn't he? I mean, he's been in so many good movies. You know, that Nespresso adverts worldwide. I mean, you know,
well, except in the US.
Is he not in there?
No, they don't do. No, it kind of lowers their cachet, I guess. You know, if they're seen to do commercials. I came over here for the premiere. I did the LA premiere. I was like, oh man, it was like red carpet. There's like massive red carpet, and there's photographers like 3-4 deep. Like, Anthony. Well, they weren't saying it like that. They were saying Anthony. And I'm walking. I got Courtney Love in front of me, and I got Matt Damon next to me, and there's little old Skordi from Brixton standing there. Going,
I love that. I loved your description of yourself, the Brixton bubble. It's like
I'm like, I got really nervous on the red carpet. I don't get nervous in front of the camera, but I got nervous on the red carpet. But yeah, no, it was quite an experience. And then I did the London one, which was some like big mall in Westfield Mall.
Oh yeah, Westfield. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and like I'm waiting to go. You know, we're sitting down and waiting for the movie to start, and like his mother-in-law was like, "Oh, where are you from?" I goes, "Oh, well, I was born in London. My parents are Greek Cyprus. Oh, I love Cyprus. I got married in Cyprus. I love halloumi." She's like, and Jill's like, "Sit down, come on." Movie and stuff. It's just watching the domestic side of him was like, you know, it kind of takes away that, you know, star quality. But he's a star, man.
I want to say a huge thanks to our sponsors, Fragrance du Bois. Now, for those of you that don't know about Fragrance du Bois, where have you been? It is one of the leading luxury fragrances, only available in Harrods, Selfridges, and Neiman Marcus in New York. They've got so many different fragrances for men, for women. All of the fragrances are unisex, so make sure you get involved and sample the delights of Fragrance du Bois. For all the Criminal Connection podcast crew, we've got a special discount for you, 10% off. All you need to do when you click on the link below and choose your luxury fragrance is to put in CCPOD10 for the 10% discount. There aren't actually, it's weird, like at the moment in the TV and film business, in the old days, you'd always have, like movie stars. But I've sort of found now that, like with the advert, with the invention and the success of streaming platforms, there's these shows that are being made with people that are great actors, but they're not really known. And then they're becoming stars because obviously they're putting it in front of 248 million people worldwide. And you know, it's interesting now because like when I'm sure I don't know how old you are, Anthony. 27, 28. I thought we were the same age, yeah.
Yeah.
But when we grew up, you know, you go to the cinema, it was an event because Harrison Ford is playing Han Solo or
right.
you know, whoever. Do you know what I mean? You're going to watch that because that's guy's in it or that woman's in it. But now it just seems to be that like when you talk to the kids, same with club nights, right? It used to be very sort of performance-led, DJ-led, who's performing. Now it's like, is there going to be any trouble? Is it going to be nice people? And it's the same with the movies. You know, I know if you're doing Marvel or you're doing a £300 million film, you need movie stars. But I think the movie stars are starting to sort of die out. You know?
No, they are.
There's only a handful, really.
Yeah. Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise, George Clooney. You know, I don't know, you know, if those people will attract people. But it's all gone to streaming, it's like you said. And it's like you watch Harrison Ford and he's doing a show for Apple. He's playing a psychiatrist on that. And like, you know, so, and George Clooney did the Catch-22, which was for Paramount Hulu. I don't know where they showed it in the UK. And I think they're discovering, there's a thing, I've forgotten what it's called. My friend is in business affairs out in LA. It's about some bear. It's called Bear. Have you heard of it?
I've seen Cane Bear.
No, it's called Bear. And it's about some kitchen or something. And they haven't got any names in it. And the show's doing really well. So if it goes out on streaming, it's almost people are forced to kind of watch it. It's not like you're depending on someone to go to the movies and buy a ticket and sit down. So I don't know if that's going to change the Oscar nomination.
I think the problem with the streaming platforms as a creative is that, like, you pay £9.99 a month or whatever it is, and you get all this stuff for free, right? So it devalues what you're getting. You expect everything to be high-end, expensive, movie stars, blah, 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 for that price. And I've actually had conversations with people where they've said to me, oh, you know, what have you been up to? You got anything coming out? And I'm like, yeah, I've got this coming out. I've just produced this. I've done that. And then people go, oh, when's it on Netflix or when's it on Amazon? And
No,
I've
watched that. I think Brits are more like that. I don't think the Yanks are. There's more of a movie theatre culture out there.
In this country, it's gone the other way where people are now saying, well, I'm paying that every month. When it comes on there, I'll watch it. And you think, when I wanted to see a film, I had to go and see it. If you'd have said to me, you might have to wait a year, I'd be like, I ain't waiting a year, I want to watch it now. But that seems to be, that's the danger.
I said, I want to see Napoleon to my mate, right? And he was like, huh? Like, what, go to the movie here? No.
But lots of people aren't into, I mean, you know, even in the States, I don't know how the business is performing out there, but, you know, lots of people that I know that used to go to the cinema in America, in LA, California, Vegas, New York, Miami, they've said they're going to cinemas now, and there's a handful of people in there.
Really?
I think some of the when obviously you have a Barbie movie or an Avengers movie come out, obviously people go and see.
I'm rolling my eyes right now. Barbie.
You're gutted. You wanted to be in that, didn't you?
I wanted to play Barbie.
I thought you wanted to play Barbie's dad.
Was she laughing? What? I can't play Barbie?
I think you could. I think you'd be a good Barbie.
I identify as they. Oh, you better cut that bit out. My career's done. I'm cancelled because I said they.
They, them, he, she. But the going back to the offer, obviously you've been in LA, you've done all these different movies, TV shows.
Yeah.
When did you first start playing villains?
Professionally. Well, I go in and out of it. You know, I don't always play villains.
No, but I thought
Gambino wasn't a villain; he was a businessman.
Do you know what though? I thought as Gambino in The Offer and as Mo in Footsoldier Vengeance, I thought this guy plays a great villain, plays a great gang boss.
It's easy though. It's easy. It's easy to play that part of it for me. It's like money for old ropes. You know what I mean? Gambino, I booked it at least 2 months.
What actually happened with that? So talk us through the actual process, because when you actually, did you get a call for it or did you just?
Funnily enough, my manager had been out to lunch. She used to be a studio exec. So she still got mates who were studio execs, and she was out to lunch with Meg Lieberman, who was VP of casting over at Paramount. And I got this audition through, and I looked at it. I thought, oh, this is nice. And I called her up. I said, when do they want it by? And she says, well, there's no deadline, but get it in as soon as you can. And so I said, you'll have it Wednesday morning when you wake up, because I was in Athens, Greece. And I did 2 days of research on the character and the dialect, 'cause it's Sicilian, it's not Italian. And I was looking at the dialogue. I called my mate, when can you come over? He came over, we set the cameras up and all that. We did 2 takes, sent the first one. And a week later, I'm sitting having dinner with my mates, and I get a phone call. My manager says, oh, they want an 8x10 and a CV, a resume. I said, what, have I been shortlisted for it? She goes, I don't know, just get it to me. And I did. That was a Friday night, and I wake up Monday morning, and there's a text from her saying, you booked it, come over. And I was over there by Tuesday, and I wasn't needed for 2 months after that. But I went and got my jab, opening another can of worms there. I'm talking about that was it. And then I had a note from the studio, work on the accent, work on the dialects. And so strange how it happened. I'm standing in line waiting to get a good shot at an airport place, kept talking to the guy behind me, happens to be a Sicilian from Sicily. So, we exchanged numbers, and he helped me, he read the dialogue for me, and I did it. And then I studied Bonanno, who was in Tucson. Studied him because he did an interview for like 60 minutes. I studied that, and I got the accent down, and then I get on set, because we were on the first, we had 2 weeks rehearsals, and downtown LA. I get on set, and we're doing the scene. Oh, crikey, me and Giovanni. Dexter comes, first day. Dexter comes running around. He goes, dude, could you walk the accent down? I said, what are you talking about? I've been working on it for 2 months. How am I going to change it now? He goes, just do your best, do your best. I said, I had a note from studio to work on the accent. He went, just they're all nervous, he said to me, in Video Village. They're all nervous, first day. So I pulled it back a bit. He goes, that's it. I said, I don't know what I did. And but he liked it, so I kept it. But everyone on that first day was like, so much money has gone into it. They went through 2 other actors before they got to Miles Teller. I don't know if you know that.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, the first one was cancelled for wanting to cannibalize people, eat people. Do you not hear about it?
I'm
Armie Hammer, wasn't it? Armie Hammer.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was actually up for playing that, but
he was booked to play
but he started talking about eating people.
Well, on Instagram. So
that
folks,
always helps.
Don't backchat. What is it called? Direct message people. DMs. Yeah. He was up in her DMs, man.
What was he saying? I want to eat you.
I don't know what he was saying, man. But the next thing I know, around January, he wasn't doing it anymore.
So, but has that actually ruined his career? Because
I don't know.
Right, okay. Because he was in a lot of stuff, wasn't he, Arnie? I remember.
I guess, But yeah, so Miles, I think, was third choice.
Right.
Or not third choice, the third person he went to. He did a great job.
He was good. Yeah, he was really good.
I like him as a person as well. I mean, Dexter did such a great job of making a company, giving us that company feel. Let everyone cared. Everyone gave a about everybody else.
I mean, the production values on that show were really high. I mean,
I'm not asking how much they did, but when you look at a regular episodics, they're between 7 and 10 mil an episode.
Yeah, that looked a lot more.
Yeah,
it looked to me when I watched that, I was like, "This is," and you know what's funny? At the end of it, everyone's going, "Oh, when's there going to be a second season?"
Well, yeah,
it's there isn't.
Yeah, unless they make it about another movie, because they were throwing money at him for Godfather 2. It's funny because I said exactly the same thing that you said about the Godfather 3. So 1 and 2, 3 on the red carpet for that. So
but you got a tag. What were you doing?
No, I don't even think it was Paramount that produced it.
I don't know. I think it was, but I'm not sure.
I love you, Paramount.
But I
I
genuinely,
love you, Paramount.
but I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know why, because when you watch the first two, they were just so good, and then on the third one, I was really excited to watch it. And I don't know. I just think I don't know what happened, but it just went off in a weird direction.
Yeah.
And I think the problem is with any film, if you make two films that good, you've got the third one. It has to be as good. Otherwise, it's always going to be like, oh, that weren't as good. And I think the third film probably was good, but because you were comparing it to these two masterpieces, and because it kind of went a little bit off piece, maybe that's why.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it again. The only scene I remember is Pacino on the church steps
Yeah.
with that silent scream of his. And Matthew Good was really good, another British actor. That was in that.
And how long was the filming for The Offer?
Months. We started in July with rehearsals, and then I'm not sure when we exactly started shooting, but it went till Christmas. Just after Christmas, but I wasn't in it that long. I only did 6 episodes, and my last one was 8.
And then when it came out, what was it like when it came out? Because everyone I know that saw it said it's one of the best miniseries I've ever seen.
People either liked it or they didn't. There was no air. It was all right.
Do you know why I loved it? Because I remember reading the Mario Puzo book, and I remember watching the movies, and I remember talking to people in New York about what happened and all the rest of it. So I knew a lot of the stories. So we're actually putting it on the screen. And you sort of think, that producer who got hold of that book and was trying to make it, and he had to sort of power the mob up to actually get permission, if you like, and they didn't want to give it to him. It's such a great story.
Yeah, in the reality of it, when they're shooting the first scene, I'm across the road, Gambino's across the road in this like cafe restaurant thing, and they do the first scene and give him the nod because he would to go ahead because he was called the Nodding Don. He wouldn't really talk much, which is how it helped me create the character, knowing that he didn't talk much because it meant us, spoke really low down here.
Do you know what I thought you'd have done? I thought you'd have said, look, he just nods, he doesn't say cool, just lose all my dialogue.
No,
so you just walk around the film set.
I got paid by the word. No,
Right.
I'm joking. Because they were like, the whole place was bugged, and frog's legs meant like they were going to kill someone, and he'd like nod, and he got done once. He was put away once, and for weeks, but it was called the Nodding Don. I don't know why I'm telling you that.
I think it's interesting. I mean, a lot of their viewers and listeners will be fans of the Gambino. So, any stories you got about the research you did?
The research I did. Right. So the first day of rehearsals, we've gone in there, and the showrunner said, "We understand some of you are being asked for money from certain people when you've gone to do your research. Well, if they keep coming back to you, just refer them to us and we'll handle it." So some plonker's gone to the mafia and said something, and the mafia said, "I want 10% of your money." You know what I mean? Obviously, that's gone. But I went to Little Italy. I went out there. I went out and had a little look around and had a look, Prince Street, Spring Street, where Gambino was every Thursday, taking meetings with people. I went to all those places, and I was careful who I spoke to. And I spoke to one dude. He was the manager of Ferrara's, which was like a bakery, and which is still there. And it's like, you read all the research and you say, "Oh, they were running down here with guns and there were shootouts here," and you're on those streets. It's like amazing, man. And he goes, "Oh, where's your hat?" And then round the corner in another place, he said to me, "Well, he's still a Gambino over there." That's right. And then I read the other day, 2 days ago, 10 days ago, 11 Gambinos were arrested. And I had a sit down, as it were, with Sammy the Bull, Gravano.
Yeah, he was the underboss, wasn't he?
He was Gotti's underboss. I went out to Phoenix and met with him, and we had a podcast and sit down, and we had lunch and breakfast and all that stuff. And it was really interesting meeting him.
Is that where he lives now, Phoenix?
Phoenix.
Right. Wow.
He's not allowed to leave Phoenix without permission. So But like, it's like, because he knew Gambino when he was a kid. Gambino took him on, and he actually put him with the Colombo family, and then he came
He
back
was
to-
ferocious though, wasn't he? He was a boxer, wasn't he? Was he?
He's got-
I know he was only tiny, but he was dangerous. I remember reading some stuff and hearing some stuff about him, and you know, I mean, to be the underboss of you know, one of the biggest crime families in New York, you'd have to have something about you.
Well, Gotti ruined it all, didn't he? It was him and Gotti got rid of Paul Castigliano, and Carlo Gambino put Paul in charge because Paul was more of a Wall Street guy.
What happened to Carlo then? Was he in jail or did he die?
No, he died.
Right. So when he was on his way out, he went, Paul's now.
No, he'd already decided who it was going to be. De La Croce was the underboss at the time, and a lot of people thought he was going to take over, but he was old fashioned, and like Carlo Gambino wanted to move into like legit business, which is why I put Paul there, and Gotti and Sammy were the ones that like we're best mates, right? Arranged the hit on him. And suddenly, 2 days later, John Gotti's the boss.
Well, I remember seeing the pictures outside Spark Steakhouse where those guys I think it was in the snow. They'd just been gunned down. I mean, it was pretty f***ed up. And, and you know, you all the people that sort of know that life would all have said that was the biggest mistake, killing a mate guy without anyone's permission.
Without the other family's permission, because he would never have gotten it. You can't kill someone without permission, especially.
I want to kill the boss because I want to be the boss. Yeah, sure, well, John.
They didn't want to deal with drugs. Paul didn't want to be dealing with drugs. Paul Castigliano didn't want to be dealing with drugs, whereas John Gotti knew that's where the money was. I'm going to cough. Sorry, mate. John Gotti knew that where that, Teflon Don.
Yeah.
Knew that's where the money was.
Did you see that on Netflix? They've just done a Gotti documentary. It was
no, I haven't seen
number
it.
one. It's interesting watching it.
I got so close to playing Carlo that I know I'd personally be pissed off at the fucker. How could you ruin the whole family? And then he goes away and his son's in charge. It's like, and there's this thing called omerta. You know what omerta is? Yeah. And when Sammy was like, "No, I'm not doing this time for him," and he turned state's witness.
Do you know what's interesting about that? Lots of people go on about the omerta thing. They go on about the rules, and I know I met another guy who was in the Gambinos called John Elite, and he was called the Albanian, and he was their sort of hitman. He killed 30 or 40 people.
He was Italian.
He was Albanian, but he wasn't made, but he used to be their like bagman or whatever. And I met him, and he had a great story. And when he told me the story, he said he'd gone through the life. He was killing people. He was like, whatever. He was earning big money, right? And then he said he then went to he got pinched, and then he went on a run. And he was wanted for all these murders, and he they were like, "You're never going to come out," right? So he went on the run. Then he got caught. When he got caught, he said, when they read the rap sheet, you've done this murder, you've killed this guy, you've done this, you've done that. He was like, how the f*** do these people know all this shit? And every single person fucking grassed him up, like from the bosses to the captains to the fucking other families. And he's sitting there and he's going, if these fuckers are all going to grass me up, fucking grass them up.
Right.
Probably like Sammy, right? So when you're sitting, everyone.
Well, Sammy heard the tapes.
Right.
Sammy heard the tapes of John Gotti like slagging him off, and he went, "Fuck it."
That's the problem. When people go, "Oh, he's a grass," or "Oh, whatever." When you actually look at the context and you think, well, he's done all his work for you for like 20, 30 years. He's kept his mouth shut. He was going to keep his mouth shut and do the time. And then he finds out you've all fucking grassed him up so that you can get a light sentence. Then he just thought, well, actually, I don't want to be in here for fucking 100 years. I want to get out. I've got a family. So he decided to fucking bail out of it and do it. And I think, by the sounds of it, Sammy, the ball was the same. And I mean, it doesn't make it right, But I think when I said to him about it, he said to me, he said, I would have kept my mouth shut and done my time. But he said, because they all was grassing me up, it was like, well, if I have a deal with them and I do what they're doing, I can get out sooner. So he said, I can sit in jail for 100 years and die in jail, but keep my mouth shut because of the Mert thing. But they're all swanning about going, well, you know, we've spilled the beans. So you know, it's like that, innit? You can't.
It's like Sammy was like, John Gotti said to him, well, I'm the boss. I've got to be on the outside. You should serve the time. He's like, what? You know.
That's why you're the underboss. You have to.
You've got to do my
I'm going to
time
throw you
for
under
me.
the bus. Yeah.
It's like in England, we used to have whipping boys. You know what those are, right? Well, like if like aristocrats, if they were going to beat their kids, they didn't beat their kids. They had another kid that his job was to get the whooping for the actual kid that was supposed to get the whooping. You know, whipping lads, I think something like that. You'd know, wouldn't you? Well, you're on the internet. He's like, she's playing. What game are you playing, darling? Oh, I'm not allowed to say darling, am I?
No, you keep saying it. You haven't called me darling yet, so I'm quite happy about that.
Okay, love it. I'll call you love it.
Okay, darling.
I was working with Norman Rodway. Do you know who that is?
No.
It was at the RSC. His daughter, Tara Fitzgerald.
Yeah, I know that is.
You know Tara. He goes, you know why we call each other love it, don't you? Love it. I said, no, why? He says, well, we can never remember each other's names.
Right.
So we just love it. Oh, no. I was only joking.
She's calling your agent now to complain.
Travel agent. Don't. That's a real thing nowadays.
So
a real thing.
Really?
Yeah. You looked at me for 6 seconds. You were only allowed to look at me for 5.
Do you know what? That's one of the funny tricks. Whenever we do a movie, and if you have any new people working on a movie, we always wind them up, and we always go, look, this actor that's coming in today, it's like really like in his contract, you mustn't look him in the eye. And you mustn't. You just don't look him in the eye because he gets really upset. So when they come on the set, they're like, "Would you like a cup of tea?" And
who'd you do it to?
Just anybody who's
the PAs. The seconds.
But you know, I think that's you've got to have a little bit of fun on the film set. You got to have a laugh, and you got to have a little bit of banter.
There's a picture of me on the last ship, and I've got like 2 clapper balls in front of me, right? And I'm talking to the dude who's holding one of them, and like we're laughing, you know. And I've got to be like, okay, only 95% of actors work at any given time, I guess, right? But only 95% of the population is doing what it really wants to do, you know. And I've got to be grateful. I remember being on a set in Greece, in Athens, and like I went there and I was like, look at all these people. Listen, I mean, they're doing what they really want to be doing, and they all look miserable. I don't want to be doing that, and I don't want to work here. You know, I'm so grateful that I get to do what I love, you know,
and get paid for it.
Yeah, not much by you lot, but you got a sandwich. You get a sandwich of your choice.
I mean, that is good, though, isn't it? I mean, I bet you've never had that before. When you worked on a film, you get a sandwich of your choice.
No. But you know, and I've got to say that I remember. I've got to tell you this as well. I remember saying to myself, Gordon Bennett, if I was a musician, I could go and busk on the road, and like, you know, I could still express myself, you know, write my own music and go out there and perform it on Oxford Street or wherever. And I was on a set doing this movie, and I was sitting down with this one actor, and the background actors were rehearsing some dance, and he goes to me, "Oh, you look like an actress." I went, "Off." And I thought, I went home that night and I started doing some research on it, and thought, "Oh, this is interesting." So I ordered a book from Amazon. I ordered another book. Eventually, I had 10 books on Onassis, and I wrote this one-man play. Do you know about this?
No.
Yeah. And I performed it in within a year. I'd written it and produced it at the Stella Adler Theatre in Los Angeles.
Amazing.
And then it was produced last year, almost 2 years ago now. We rehearsed it in January, February in Atlanta, and then we did it off Broadway, February, March into April. And then 2020, I did it in Athens, Greece. Me playing Onassis. So, you know, if anyone's watching this
There will be a couple of people.
Like my mum, your mum, and someone who got the dates wrong who's supposed to be on it, and they would thought, oh, it must be next week I'm on it. Oh, I may as well watch it. I just sat down and wrote this thing, man, and I just pull it out whenever I want it now, you know.
That's cool.
You know, I said to the director, I was in New York recently. I went through New York coming back from doing the video game. And we just had a meeting, and like, as soon as I get settled in Athens, it's coming over. We're going to rehearse it and do it again. I want to bring it to London.
Amazing.
You know?
I think London needs an Assis. They need an Assis. It's a great story.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a one-man show, an hour and a half on stage myself. You know? I think there's 17 characters all told in it. So...
and going back to your day with Sammy the Bull when you was in Phoenix, did he give you any good stories?
Yeah, but I don't remember him.
Okay.
I don't
was that the
remember
red
him.
wine? Too much red wine.
No, I don't drink.
Oh, right.
I don't drink. I just do. No,
Okay.
no, I don't do. No, no. I haven't had a drink or a drug in almost 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I lost my drinking privileges a while back. Yeah. So yeah, no. Do I remember any stuff? Well, I managed to get I introduced them to a friend of mine, and he sold a TV series to. He's an actor as well. To ABC, his wife's a showrunner, and they've got a deal now to do the podcast into a TV show.
Amazing.
So I was able to be part of that.
Amazing.
You know.
Amazing.
So there's going to be lots and lots of stories, I guess, hopefully on probably streaming actually.
Yeah.
Because they can swear there.
And obviously you've recently been mowing the Rise of the Footsoldier Vengeance, and you know when you come over for that, did you know what to expect, or was you just quite excited just to try see what the low budget British films have got to say?
Do you know what you say? Low budget, but that office,
but low budget compared to obviously The Offer.
right, man. But everyone on that set cared. The art department, man, they did such a wonderful job with my office. I was blown away when I walked down there. I didn't expect it. You know, the budget is blah blah. Usually, it's like what the agent gets of the lead, or 10%. But I was just blown away, and like they got people who really, really care on that shoot, and then you got Fair Brass, and you got George Russo,
He was great.
Who are like and Josh, like they're all great guys, man, and they all cared about the franchise. Can I call it a franchise?
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah.
I like
6 films, a computer game.
Well, I wasn't in the computer game.
No,
in
but
the video game.
The computer game came out before your involvement. That's what it was.
I know.
But they can always add you as a character.
How much? How much?
How much?
That's what it's come down to now.
Right.
How much they pay?
Right.
How much? Yeah, kidding. Double it.
Right.
My expectations, I hadn't set them. I remember when I did a shitload of work in Cyprus on TV series out there, and it was like shooting from the hip out there, man. And then I get to LA, and the first job I do is Men of a Certain Age, and I remember opening my trailer door, and trailers, I had my trailer door, and there was like hundreds of people there. But then I get in front of the camera, and it's a director, an assistant director, and an actor. At the end of the day, it's the same thing, There's just a lot more people behind the camera. And I got there. I got to Southend. What was my? Those were my first. That was my. Was that my first scene? The fly scene. Was that my first scene? And it had been written, and it'd been written well. And I got Nick, who I know is an actor, and he's like, "Oh, Tony," it just felt like family.
Yeah.
It felt like family, and it's like your family's not the best. You're going to have rows, but you're still family. You know what I mean? And I think that's what came out. And I got to meet George, and myself and another bod, Shaq Hussein, we're writing a thriller ourselves now. We're halfway through this treatment. Been on it for about 7-8 months now, and so I'm meeting Andrew and meeting you. It's been such a great experience. And like, oh, when's the next one? I never thought I'd say that. I never thought I'd say that. But I can't say too much because of spoilers. But it's
So the future, what does the future hold for you now, Anthony? You've got obviously this untitled computer game coming out. Have you got anything else coming out, or you got?
I've got a Western coming out that I played a priest in, Catholic.
Do you get to kill anyone?
Or as a priest?
Yeah.
Only with love.
Oh, okay.
Only with kindness. No, I don't get to kill anyone.
Right.
I asked for a gun and a horse when I got there.
I would have done. How can you be in a Western without a gun and a horse?
They said to me, different movie.
Right.
That's a different movie.
Put your collar and your frock on and shut up.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I had heat exhaustion.
Right.
I'm in Tucson in May, right? They're giving me like a dog collar. They're giving me a shirt. They're giving me this wool stuff to wear. They're giving me a cape to wear. All right, go sit and a hat. Go sit in the sun and do this scene. I was like, Friday, I got in about 8 o'clock from the shoot, and like I crawled. It's like having alcohol poisoning. I don't know if you've ever had it. Have you had alcohol? You haven't lived, mate. I crawled into bed, and I couldn't move. I was in bed for about 14 hours from that heat exhaustion, But anyway, so that's going to come out. I don't know when that's coming out. The video game, and I've been shortlisted for a new series.
Amazing.
A new TV series. So, it's LA's like that. Is you don't know what's around the corner. You might be starving one day, and the next day, or you might be flying high and you say the wrong thing, and you're doing deliveries for Domino's.
Oh, Amazon.
Amazon, yeah. That was one thing I was scared about leaving leaving LA. I kind of still live there, and I kind of like live in Athens as well. But it's been so tough finding the place that I want. I thought, well, does God want me to be in the UK? I come out here and froze my nuts off. It was freezing. I'm not used to it.
I think even the summer here now is sort of not as good as it used to be. But I think the weather from November to probably April is pretty miserable.
That's a long old stretch right there.
6 months of misery.
Well, that's why I said stretch, because a stretch is 6 months. Yeah. I remember that from my Borstal days. No, I don't. I didn't do Borstal. Right. I did YP. Right. You know what YP is? Ashford.
What is it?
Young prisoner. No, I didn't do that. I'm joking. Am I? Is he joking? Is he telling the truth?
I know, but you're such a good actor. You say you can fool me with anything you tell me.
Mate. Like, you know what? Like, you're dating a woman. She goes, "You're just an actor. You don't really mean that." No, I do.
I do really love you.
No, it's not what I was talking about. But yeah, I do love you. No, it's like I've got to get into the character. I've got to do the research. I've got I've got to be able to jump into the character and raise the dead from their graves, like Onassis, and like create these characters and give them life and breathe, so they can breathe, and a spiritual life and a psychological life, and it's trying to do that and make something which is believable on and off the set, and I love that, and I can't just do it as myself, which is why I was shitting myself doing the red carpet at Man's Chinese Theatre with like Courtney Love on one side, and I ran into her about 2 months after that. I goes, I was on a red carpet with you, and you were in front of me. I was like, I wish I'd known you then. I could have, you could have calmed me down. And like, I remember I was waiting to go on, and Matt Damon pulls up in his limo, and Jim Giannopoulos, the head of Paramount at the time, they were chatting, and I said to the people who were going to walk me on, because they walk you on with your name, and then they photograph it, and like, then you come on. I go, shall I wait for Matt Damon? They went, no, you just go. I thought,
yeah, so I mean, it sounds like you've got some really exciting things going on, Anthony.
Yeah,
and I'm excited. I'm definitely excited to play the video game. And
I won't tell you what it's about, but I tell you what, man. I've just removed. It's very rare that I like really want a part, because there's so much. It comes down to two of you. You're not allowed to accept any other work. You have to be released, for you to go and get something else. That you get to that point so many times. Well, I have so many times. It's just not quite, you haven't booked it. And sometimes you do when it's a Gambino, So I don't get excited about, it's rare that I'll get excited about something. The only thing I get excited about is the money.
Right.
Now, it's like, oh, that would have been
It's
like,
not about the art, it's about the money.
that shit, man. How much you paying? How much you paying? Because my agent, I've got to pay an agent.
Yeah,
I've got to pay a manager. I've got to pay an accountant.
Yeah.
No, I'll set up I'm a company.
Right.
Oh, sorry. I'm a company. So, yeah. Anyway, I've taken up enough of your time.
Well, no. Anthony, I was just about to say, I really enjoyed having you on the show. Thank you so much for coming.
Hi. You go, man.
Thanks for tuning in to the Criminal Connection podcast. Anthony Skordi, what a fucking legend. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you tune in next week. We've got some more exciting guests for the Podfather. Click, like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and make sure you spread the word all over social media. We'll see you next week.